Oh, hello, Doctor Who fans. Guess where I am? Allendale. There's a dog barking in the background there. Probably talking to me. Anyway, yeah, okay. That's the TARDIS. Oh, hello, Doctor Who fans. There's the Dalek. The steel Dalek. Which has been a staple of this museum for a couple of years now, I think. Anyway, he's busy chatting away with some occupiers, so I'll let me speak to them. And, yeah. Great Dalek head, that. Yeah, there's the rest of it. 27th of January, 2023, I was saying 19. And there's the TARDIS, and there's the Dalek. And there's, I'm just gonna, well, he's busy chatting with them people. Go and revisit the TARDIS prop, which has probably been frozen and decayed and the rest of it. Ooh. Oh, well, it's fine. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Please do not enter the TARDIS. There's the Dalek. It's going to give me half an hour.
So I had to sculpt out the rest of the costume art. Yeah. So that's the sort of stuff I did, but it takes
20 minutes.
as long as it takes. Sometimes people say, how much would you charge? And I said, I don't actually know. The latest basically,
Please do not touch the Dalek.
Margot basically, and she donated Triffid that she was using the production. So that was what she did. So she donated that.
The Triffids, I
A
remember.
little Triffid miniature.
Alright, well, that used to frighten me as a kid.
So do you want to come in?
Yeah, sure.
Right,
How
so
much
that
is
is, it's 14 for two.
Have you got the card machine?
I haven't got a card machine if you've got a cash. You need a cash machine.
Yeah. Across the road.
No. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Doctor Who fan, how are you?
Alright. I'm just
Sorry,
see that big tree is?
Yeah.
And it's a cash machine, it's the post office and the card machine.
Alright, great, okay. Well,
All right.
So you're all wrapped up, up for winter, I see.
Yeah.
Cold, must it? Has it been cold here? Really cold?
Very. I've had to keep going upstairs.
Hey, Doctor Who fans, we have Neil Cole here at the Museum of Classic Sci-Fi. Doesn't he look magnificent as always?
Magnificent, very, very wrapped up today.
Yeah, very
because it's absolutely freezing in here. So I got more clothes on today.
What is this, Neil?
This right. This is a cyber head, which is a bit rough around the ears, I'm afraid. I made this from the pictures in the Radio Times when the Age of Steel was first announced. I had nothing to go on but the Radio Times
So you
pictures.
purely did it by the picture?
Yes,
Not
and basically,
from a
no,
cast or
and I
anything?
did it in about 3 or 4 days at school.
Now, I've had the replica toy version of it, so I have.
Yes.
And it looks pretty accurate.
well,
and the scale, it's at the scale as well.
The reason it looks,
toy.
the reason it's not as finished and the paint's quick is it was made at school, and I've just left my classroom teaching, and I couldn't leave it there. I was going to throw it actually because it's not particularly accurate now. But the reality, what it was, in a way, we were doing a school play.
Yeah.
I had a week. And we wanted Cybermen in the school play because they were just coming on the telly. And this was for year 5 and 6. It was good fun.
2007.
Yes, so it was great fun. So what we did was, I said, of course, because it's me, I said, oh yeah, I'll make a Cyberman mask. And then, of course, we then had to cast them in rubber. So I needed to make a master sculpt. And this was about a few months before the character toy came out, which was appalling for me. I mean, great toy, but can you imagine going and agonising over this, and then this wonderful toy comes out, and we ended up with these. And then the worst thing was when we went to cast it. Right, it got better when we went to cast it. So this was done in a hurry, folks, and I was teaching, so I wasn't sitting as a professional sculptor. I was literally half an hour here. So anyway, and it weighs a ton. I just couldn't part with it. But anyway, we then cast them.
What's the process of making a cast of something like I don't know to a layman?
You just slap it. I'm not great at it. It's my weak spot because I really do one-offs when I'm repairing the props. I'm doing them one-off. I was talking to Mike Tucker about that yesterday. I'm not an expert caster, so I'm the wrong person to ask. But basically, we took a plaster mould.
We'll take a picture of Mike Tucker's things, by the way, in the museum.
So basically, so what I did was I made this, and it wasn't painted then. Because I had Doctor Who Club in class and I had a little exhibition of quickly made props. So I painted it silver at the end just to put it in the clout corner. But we took these casts up and then we found out that one child in the year group had an allergy to rubber. So I had to chuck them all. And then the only option was to make non-rubber masks. And it was really frustrating. So what I ended up doing was I put almost like, Greek masks. I made plaster cast Matt, I took a silicone mould,
Yep.
right, which cost a fortune, and then I realised why silicone I don't use very often, because it costs a fortune. And basically, I took the mould off it, and then I put them on rods, and so the kids, when they came on, they had silver suits, and they all held them, and they were quite good fun.
Did this
Yeah.
did this ever have handles on it?
No,
on the head?
never had handles on.
No, okay,
No.
okay, yeah.
It was guys. It was thrown together. It was absolutely just simply. It's not my best work at all. You know what my work's like.
Well,
in
you're telling us but it's pretty accurate looking to me.
Well, it was
as a
done
layman.
in a hell of a hurry, and it was done from Radio Times. Literally, there was that first issue came out. There was there were 2 pictures. There was one kind of from the side, one from the front, and I had to just work from it. So it's not right. And now, having been donated the Age of Steel helmet,
Yes.
it was interesting comparing the two. It's interesting how much I got right, but then there's bits I got really wrong because that just didn't have any reference. But it's quite interesting. Anyway,
Well, that has a nostalgic value for you, presumably. You're not going to part with it because it has sentimental value, presumably, and everything else.
Yeah, that was it. I was going to chuck it, because I had to clear my classroom, and I was going to.
But you spent how many hours did you spend making that?
I don't know. Not that
A lot.
Not a few. I mean, it was good. I was staying late after school, just trying to. But it's not. It's rickety. It didn't. Basically, I didn't have time to sand it.
So it's
and
made
perfect
of
it. Cold cast clay.
Cold class clay.
Yeah, so it's just basically, in other words, it doesn't need to be fired, and it's on just a lump of polystyrene or something, and it just.
Is it a silver nemesis? No.
It bloody is. So that's it. So that's it.
Yes,
the
very
age
impressive.
Of it's the age of not
Age of-
steel.
Age of
It's
not
not
steel.
really impressive. It was a very.
Well, you say that, but look, folks, if you look at this, that is a Cyberman.
Yeah, look at the
Come on,
yeah,
mate.
but look at all the bumps. Normally, what I would do is I would have spent
even the toys. Have
I would
little
have
imperfections.
spent, I would have got all this down. I'd have made it more symmetrical. It's not fully symmetrical. I just didn't have time. So it was thrown together. Bear in mind, I was teaching and parenting at the same time, guys. Oh no, I wasn't parenting then, but I was teaching full time.
yeah.
And so and I had to produce these masks for kids. And of course, being kids, they just had to be robust enough to use and chuck. This was never going to be kept because it was just and the kids really were just watching. It was that excitement the Doctor Who club I had at the time was getting.
Now, didn't
quite
you
good.
comment? Perhaps I'm wrong in hearing this. That you feel that the style of Cybermen, was it you or somebody else? Anyway, I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
That the style of Cybermen of the new series weren't as scary as the old version, or weren't as. I think you compared them to the Earthshock type, didn't you? The Earthshock or the.
I right. All I would ever say about Cybermen, I always liked the chemical suit.
Yes, because it was a motion suit, wasn't it? It was a suit that was from.
I like the. Oh yes,
it was specifically made.
But I like
this,
the
is,
idea
this is the Earthshock one we're talking about.
I think they went very robotic, which is fine. And the thing is, it depends what you grew up with. So I grew up with Revenge of the Cybermen, and then
that was 74 with Tom Baker,
and I love those.
Yeah.
But the end.
Well, I grew up with the 60s. You see, I watched the original Tomb of the Cybermen, and that was scary for a young child. I literally could not sleep that night watching it.
Well, basically this. Sorry, these ones I don't dislike them, but they were very clunky robots, and I like the idea that they were. They were huge.
They were airline suits, the Earthshock ones.
But they were wrapped. I like the idea that these were sort of decrepit bodies wrapped in. And what they did in the new show, they sort of had just the brain stuck in a robot, which I didn't think was as interesting. I like the idea that you could have a very wiry body, and if you tore the sheet up.
I don't know if you know, there's a big Finnish production called Spare Parts.
I've listened to that.
What do you think of that?
Very good.
That is excellent. That it's Peter Davison, of course.
Yeah, it's very good.
But the fact they used, I think they used the voices were there too. Remember the voices?
Yes, they were.
I don't know who did the
10th
voices in that.
Planet,
Was it Nick Briggs again or no?
Very, very likely. But it was 10th Planet style, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 10th Planet. There were some moon-based elements in it too.
10th Planet as well, very much. But anyway, I think
Spare
I just think they've gone.
Spare Parts is a creepy story.
But that's the thing. That's the difference.
The young girl who was changed and everything.
I think the original Cybermen
converted.
I think the original model where you had the whole body in a suit.
Yeah.
It was like a cadaver almost in a suit.
It was.
It was creepy. And that made, to me, the chest units were like breathing apparatus, whereas in the new ones, it's just armour. It's like Iron Man.
Yeah, the chest, because that's
It's
right,
like,
because they used to burst, didn't they?
Yeah.
With,
I like that.
We used to say toothpaste in the 60s. It was chemical elements. It was solvents.
But I think that's the difference. So for me, it's just purely taste, isn't it? I like that. Organic. The whole thing's organic in a suit. Yeah. It's like a chemical suit.
Whereas I'm more of a robot.
They become robots with a brain.
Even though when you saw the actual episode, The Age of Steel, Rise of Cybermen, that is quite
nasty.
They didn't show that in the original series. Yeah. That was quite.
But it's just like the brain, wasn't it?
Again, it's what they always say. It's not what you see; it's what you don't see. Which film Jaws. It's what you don't see is scary.
I mean, it's pretty horrific having your brain removed. Then when they were queuing up to have the brains taken out, it was pretty unpleasant. But it's a lovely. Anyway, it's a lovely design. I remember when I did this, I was really excited to do this, and
We're going to make a 10-minute video here, you know,
it will be 10
Neil.
minutes,
It will
'cause
be 10
I'll
minutes.
talk
Come on.
But the original upstairs is beautiful. I hadn't realised how amazing it
And
is.
what, to scale? Is it to scale of this head?
Oh, it's to scale, but this is slightly bigger than the original.
Slightly bigger than
Ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. But because
So I tried that on my face and I felt very claustrophobic. The toy.
Yeah,
It makes you feel a bit.
I thought the toys were one of the for me one of the
I didn't
great.
realise that this thing inside of the voice makes.
Yeah.
I didn't realise
They're
that.
one of the great Doctor Who toys of all time. As a child,
Well, they had the Dalek one as well, didn't they?
yeah, I
But
mean that wasn't
that
as good because
the helmet. That's
the helmet, it fits your head
Yeah.
properly. But I think it was one of the great Doctor Who toys. And what annoyed me, as I say, was we made these Cybermen suits from just, I can't remember what it was, but we just sprayed them all silver and stuff and put little bits of cardboard armour on. And it was lovely. But can you imagine, if we just waited another few months, we could have bought those ruddy masks. They weren't for toys, they weren't expensive.
They weren't
They're
expensive,
such
no,
a
no.
good
My nephew
cast.
had one, yeah.
They're brilliant. I've got one upstairs.
Fine,
They are an amazingly good toy. When you see the original, the difference is it's heavy. It's cast in cold cast resin.
So imagine putting it on your head.
It's very heavy and tight. And
For an actor to have it on all day.
I wouldn't fancy it. But I'll be honest, it's a beautiful thing, and I actually said I did like Neil Gorton's team. They used this. They put metal powders into the resin.
Yes.
And it looks bloody metallic. It's very clever, and it looks great. And the toys are cool.
Yes.
I mean, obviously they're mass produced, but the toys, I can't. I was looking at the toys, you know, as somebody in, how old was I then? In the 30s, or whatever. Was just like, wow, you've got a Cyberman helmet you can wear. But as a child, if I'd got that, if they'd done a Revenge of the Cybermen helmet, I was just like that age, to that level, I'd have been like,
Over the moon, yes. But can you imagine, though, in those days, remember, Neil, in the 70s and 60s, certainly, the replicas never looked like what was on screen, did they, to a degree? It was always an interpretation, wasn't it?
I'm actually doing the magazine of the latest museum magazine on here, which has just got